Let's say I wanted to graph the line 4x plus 6y equals 20. This line is written in standard form. Standard form means my x's and y's are on the left side and my constant is on the right. To graph this line, I want to rewrite this equation in slope-intercept form. To do this, I want to solve for this y. To solve for this y, I'm going to treat all other variables as constants and undo the order of operations so I have just y on the left side. So step 1, I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides of my equation. And I'm going to write negative 4x first. I have 20 minus 4x, which is the same as negative 4x plus 20. This negative sign sticks with 4x. Now I need to get rid of this 6 by multiplying by the reciprocal of 6. One-sixth times 6 undo each other. I'm left with just y equals. And now I need to distribute the 1/6 to each term. I'm going to drop down my plus sign. And I'm going to have negative 4/6x plus 20/6. Well, both of these can be simplified down. 4 and 6 are both divisible by 2, so it simplifies down to 2/3 x plus 20 divided by 6. Both of these are divisible by 2, simplifies down to 10/3. So the slope of this line is negative 2/3, and the y-intercept is 10/3. The reason we want this line written in slope-intercept form is so we can identify these two numbers quickly. To graph this line, I need to find 10/3 on the y-axis. The y-axis goes vertically, and 10/3 is just 3.3 repeating. So on the y-axis, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and 1/3. And from there, I'm going to have a slope of negative 2/3. So I'm going to go down 2 and to the right 3. And I'm going to keep going down 2 and to the right 3 all the way across my paper, all the way across my graph. Now, negative 2/3 I can get by either going down, which is negative, and to the right, which is positive, or I can go up 2 and to the left 3. Up 2 is positive, to the left 3 is negative. A positive divided by a negative is a negative, and a negative divided by a positive is a negative. Now I'm going to keep going all the way across my graph paper. Now with a ruler, I just need to connect those points. Now every point on that line makes this equation true or this equation true. All of these ordered pairs, if I plug them in to either equation, I'm going to end up with an equivalent statement. That's why they're all on the same line. If I wanted to graph the line y equals negative 4, this equation is written in slope-intercept form. So I need to identify the slope and the y-intercept. Well, in this case, I don't see an x. So if I have the equation y equals mx plus b, and I want to get rid of this x right here, this m value has to be 0. Because if I take 0 times x, I get 0, which means that this term disappears. So in this equation, y equals -4, my slope is 0. And my y-intercept is -4. So on the y-axis, I'm going to find -4. And from there, I need to have a slope of 0. A line with a 0 slope is a horizontal line. If I have rise over run, and I want to get 0 for an answer, I need to have a 0 in my numerator. Well, in order to have a 0 in my numerator, my rise is going to be 0, and my run is going to be a number. So I'm going to plot all of the points horizontally. And connect all of those dots using a ruler. Now, if you think of an equation as a rule, this makes sense, because every ordered pair on this line has a y value that is -4. The x values will change, but the y value is always going to be -4. And the last example, if I want to graph the line x equals 6, this is my rule. X has to be 6. So that's where I'm going to start on my graph. This point, x equals 6. And I want to connect all of the points where x does equal 6. Well, x is going to equal 6 here, and here, and here, all the way vertically, both up and down. Those are all the ordered pairs where x equals 6. So I want to connect those points to graph my line. It just so happens that x equals 6 is a vertical line. Notice that this line is not written in slope-intercept form. I don't even see a y in my equation. And the reason is, this is not a function. The line x equals 6 does not pass the vertical line test. So x equals 6 isn't a function. We can still write a rule for the line. It's just not a function. And since it's not a function, we're not going to write it in slope-intercept form. If we look at the slope of a vertical line, the slope of a vertical line is undefined. So my rise over my run has to be undefined. To get an undefined slope, my run has to be 0, which makes sense. From this point, I'm going to go left and right 0, but I'm going to be able to rise up and down.